You grew up playing virtual world flash games in the early 2010s like Moshi Monsters, Club Penguin, or even Bin Weevils. You probably know that a lot of these games had a lot of myths and urban legends to them driven by their respective communities, some of which had actually led to the developers of these games implementing these myths into the game, such as Club Penguin flipping the iceberg. It was added into the game as a final send-off event for the game, but it was still an endearing thing for them to do. Well, Almajam does not fall short of these myths and legends either. Plenty of these are still leading players to believe them even nowadays, 13 years after the game was first launched. So join me into diving into the best of Almajam myths, legends, and rumors. So if you go to the tippy top of Coral Canyons, you'll see this bridge right here. If you hop on it, nothing really happens. But if you get, let's say, a handful of people or even a room full of people hopping on the bridge, something interesting does happen. The bridge starts to play an animation of it cracking and also rocks dropping underneath it, so pretty much showing that it is breaking. This was bound to make people think you could actually break the bridge, and people were surely convinced that you could. People started coming up with rumors that you could get free rares or free membership for breaking the bridge, but unfortunately that isn't the case because breaking the bridge is impossible. However, there was a point of time where Almajam might have considered making it possible to break the bridge. There's an unused achievement that was found called Falling Rocks with the icon of the bridge breaking, seemingly given to people once they broke the bridge. However, it could also be an unused achievement that could have been given to players once they got this secret animation to play. Now, this is pretty much the same case with the bridge. You get enough people to hop on it and it starts to show the ice cracking and it seems like it would break. The same kind of rumors transpired from this as well. Free rares, free membership, the same kind of stuff. There's also an unused achievement like the one for the bridge in Coral Canyons, but this one is called Thin Ice and shows the danger sign that can be seen lodged into the ice in Mount Chevere. I decided to separate this part rather than including it with the bridge because breaking the ice is actually possible, or it previously was possible, I should say. Now, if you're an older player of the game and haven't really been keeping up with Almajam, you probably don't know about this. But breaking the ice was actually implemented into the mobile version of the game Almajam Play Wild for a Halloween event in the year of 2022. As you can see on screen right now, the ice pretty much would break and give players to partake in a mini game. In this mini game, we can pretty much see what would be under the ice, and it's seemingly a huge phantom for some reason. It was a pretty cool thing though, seeing this in the game finally in some capacity anyway, and very thoughtful of Almajam to implement this for all old players and new players for sure. Looking at the Almajam minimap, one can see there are certain areas around it that a land doesn't occupy. With this, a lot of players started to theorize, hey, what if there was a land right there? Some players even going as far as making fan edits of lands they think would be cool. One edit, the Phantom Wastelands, gained serious traction and thousands of players at the time were convinced it existed and was going to be a land coming up in the future. But unfortunately, it was fake and obviously never added to the game. However, there has been some old lands found on a former Almajam employee's art station profile that may have been intended to be added into the game years ago, such as this land here. It was titled Lobo Cavern, and by judging the environment around it, it was most likely going to be added somewhere near Mount Chevere on the minimap. But it's entirely possible this was scrapped in place of the current newest land on Almajam, Belush, which was added in 2017. Diamonds are the premium currency in Almajam Classic and used to be a lot harder to get than they are nowadays. Back when they were initially added to the game, you could only receive 1 diamond every Tuesday, and that was it. Meaning if you wanted to buy a specific item or an animal from the diamond shop, you'd have to save up for quite some time unless you wanted to opt and buy diamonds for actual money. With this, a lot of people have searched for free ways to get diamonds, such as codes and things you could do in the actual game itself. Now, while there was a diamond code added into the game that was later deactivated, a popular myth that went around was that if you and a few others set your animal's color to all white and danced on the diamonds in the diamond shop, you would receive free diamonds. This was so popular to the point where Almajam themselves had to address it and debunk it. They came out on the Daily Explorer saying, have you ever heard that if you dress in all white and hop up and down in the diamond shop, you will get free diamonds? Every day at HHQ, we see jammers trying to get free diamonds by dressing in all white outfits. They jump up and down, but no diamonds diamonds. Why? This is because the diamond shop does not give out free diamonds. Its only purpose is to make epic items available to jammers. If you wish to collect diamonds, there are 3 ways: the daily spin, purchasing gift cards at retail store, and logging in Tuesdays if you are a member to get your weekly diamond. For a few months onwards afterwards, people still continue to do this, but if you log into the game nowadays, this myth has pretty much dissipated anyway through a course of time. Animal Jam guides were members of HHQ who would help out players and encourage them to partake in certain games and use certain features around the game in early periods of Animal Jam. However, there was a strongly believed rumor that in October of 2010 that if you beat an Animal Jam guide in a minigame, you would be rewarded an item that went on to become one of the rarest items in the game. And that item was the beta eyeball hat. Most people believed this to be the case, however there was no documentation supporting that this was the case. Some people also believe the eye was just released into stores regularly as every other rare eyeball hat was released into stores, but that also does not have any documentation to back it up, which is why I included it in this video. Alphas have had a prevalent part in Animal Jam's lore and just daily outings in both the PC version and mobile versions of the games, but the way they show up in adventures weren't always the way they showed up. First we have Liza here. This used to be her old model for when showing up to players in game during the tutorial period a player would experience when creating a new account. This styling for her model was later changed and eventually removed. Similarly enough, a same styling model for the Alpha Graham showed up, but this was in-game interacting with other players. This screenshot comes from Snowy Claw and was the last and only documentation of another alpha in this island and has never shown up again. While it's true adventures single-handedly killed the old rarity system in Animal Jam by putting in high-valued items in the prize pools, very early on when adventures were still being made, there was a particular adventure that had players theorizing like crazy. In the adventure titled The Great Escape, in the middle of the adventure, a prison cell including a bunch of rare items such as the Founder's Hat, Rare Eyeball Hat, Rare Fox Hat, and much more can be seen in the middle of the adventure. This led people to believe that there was some way you could get these items from this adventure or steal them from the actual prison cell itself. But this was actually only added as a decoration for the adventure, and there was no way of getting them from it. Another adventure myth is that ground chests you can find and unlock around adventure maps ruin your luck and chances of getting a good prize at the end of the adventure. This was most popular by people who played the Forgotten Deserts regularly, an adventure most known for having the best prize pool in the game. However, this was proven false as there was no mechanic that ruined your chances for certain items in the prize pool. Another rumor based on hiring or lowering your chances of a better prize was if you changed your Animal Jam account server region to Germany that you would have better luck of getting better items from the Forgotten Desert, but this was also proven to be false in the same case. Animal Jam myths are definitely nostalgic to say the least, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. This game has such a creative and supportive community that I've never seen another game able to replicate, and it's fascinating. And the game itself still has managed to hook so many people onto it after 13 years of its initial launch. There's so much to this game and even so many secrets and Easter eggs that I definitely plan on making a video on in the future as well. But for now, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favorite myth was in the comments, or if I missed one, do let me know that too. Drop a like and sub, both of which are very much appreciated, and this is Saya signing out.